How about some watch this, bitches?
Sure.
It's busy.
Busy in the entertainment world, yes.
It is. So I guess, this is breaking news, but there's a big spider fight over Spider-Man. And I haven't really been following it because I don't care, but so you explain it, Wombat.
Okay, so for those who are unaware, their Spider-Man, the movie license, is currently held by Sony Pictures, right? So the last few Spider-Man movies, prior to the Tom Holland movies, those were all Sony Picture releases. That's why Spider-Man was not part of the MCU until Sony and Marvel made a deal after The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was disappointing in the box office.
Got it. And then Tom Holland came in.
And Tom Holland came in, and the MCU spun its MCU magic on it and made them good movies, and they were able to put Spider-Man in their movies, and you had this whole homogenous Spider-Man thing,
Right.
and everyone seemed to really
So what's the
enjoy
problem
it.
now?
So
They want more money. Let me guess. Sony wants
Disney
more money.
No,
Disney wants more money. Disney wants more money?
Disney wants more money. Disney has 100% of all the merchandising and 5% of the gross, I believe is what they get when these movies are made. They were asking for less of a financing burden on making these movies and 50%, which is a lot more than 5%.
I can't even be bothered to care about this.
So
they're going to come up with something because it's so much money.
It's not difficult math. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was considered a bomb, and that made $700 million. The last Spider-Man movie made just over $1 billion. So even if the next Spider-Man movie does just as well as their worst Spider-Man movie, they still make more money than if they agreed with Marvel and went with their deal. Does that make sense? Did I say that in a way that makes sense?
Right. It's not like they were really doing that badly before Marvel.
They weren't doing that badly, but they weren't making good movies.
Right.
And Sony's going like, but we don't have to make good movies.
Make money with Spider-Man.
We'll make more money with a bad movie.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, they can do that.
Yeah.
But then the word is out that Spider-Man sucks again. Down.
Right. And this is clearly like Disney went into this knowing the outcome of this ask.
Yeah.
So this is a negotiating tactic.
Yeah.
It has to be.
They set up the whole universe, the upcoming universe around Spider-Man.
Right. It seems pretty important to the whole Marvel thing.
Or they just fast track the X-Men. And we see an X-Men movie by 2021.
They just wasted a couple movies and a lot of like Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame by wasting it on the Spider-Man character that they can't use.
Right. Mm-hmm. They'll work it out. It's going to be okay.
Right. It's going to get worked out.
It's too much money. It's not.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's just businesses.
There's a lot of egos.
I still like my idea of just trading them Iron Man for Spider-Man. They're done with him.
Right. Well, no, they're going to maybe reboot in like 5 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if the next Spider-Man movie is a Spider-Man Venom movie now, and you get that,
that's
Carnage. Spider-Man and Venom
that
fighting
Venom
Carnage
movie
together
is like the best DC movie. It's like the best you could say about that movie.
It's not a good movie, but I like it.
Sure.
That's my description of the Venom movie. It is a bad movie that I did enjoy.
Right. I'm not going to watch that. Hey, at Hoyt TY writes in and says Sony buys Insomniac, and in PR mentioned Spider-Man games, and the same day Sony kills the deal with the Disney on the movies. Is there a connection, or is that just total coincidence?
Probably coincidence. I doubt the game division knows what the movie division is working on.
Right. Yeah. But do you think that
expect to see a lot less Spider-Man? If this does, fall apart, expect to see a lot less Spider-Man in other things. Because they're going to totally do what Marvel did with X-Men and Fantastic Four and just stop putting them in anything. Like, there won't be any more It just that's
What do you
good.
mean by in anything though?
Like when they re-released one of those Marvel versus Capcom games and they had no X-Men in it, or
They're not going to do that with Spider-Man though.
they're going to do that with Spider. They're 100% going to do that.
No,
with Spider-Man.
they won't.
If this deal falls through, they're going to make Spider-Man worthless
They won't.
because
He's worth too much to Marvel.
Spider-Man still had value when they were focusing on making the X-Men and Fantastic Four worthless, and they did a pretty good job at that. So
it's
now
not
that
that
they
hard
have it
to
all,
do that to Fantastic Four. Let's be fair.
no, yes, but X-Men they did some pretty decent damage to. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that to Spider-Man. I think they're going to again if the deal really does fall through.
You're killing your Mickey Mouse.
I did, yes.
That's not going to happen.
They'll find a new one. It's
it
Disney.
doesn't exist. There is not another Spider-Man.
Yet, Wolverine.
Wolverine, well,
Is
they
not
saved Wolverine.
Spider.
Yeah, they have Wolverine now.
They do. He's not Spider-Man.
Yet,
He's never going to be Spider-Man.
He's
yet.
too adult.
Spider-Man
Doesn't skewer people with his claws.
Right. Spider-Man has the appeal from kids to adults.
So does Wolverine.
No, he doesn't.
Sure he does. Kids love Wolverine.
Hey, Bob, look, you skewered that guy.
The Adventures of Teenage Wolverine. People are going to eat that shit up.
Right.
I could see them leaning more into different Spider-Man potentially. But
Well, they don't have any other ones.
they have them. They just don't have the movies for them. It's
Yeah.
not like they're not going to make.
If they don't have the
toys.
movies, the movies is where the money is for them. And without the movies, they're not going to focus on them. You'll see fewer Spider-Man comic books.
No, you
You'll
won't.
see with the Fantastic Four, they just canceled their comic book outright. But you'll see fewer Spider-Man comic books. You'll see fewer Spider-Man in outside pop culture things. Fewer cartoons.
Fewer chia heads.
Seriously, yes, that's the kind of thing you'll just start seeing less and less of.
And none of this is going to happen. Doesn't matter. They're going to make a deal. It's too much money. If they're two big companies, it's not like they're these two guys who everybody's looking to make money.
But that's kind of what it is. It really is just two guys.
Yeah, but they're gonna go for the money. It's too. The shareholders will be mad if they don't work it out. For both companies, they'll be mad. So you got to work it out. They're two public companies.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's talk about some real stuff and watch this, bitches. Ty and I watched basically the latest lineup of DC Universe's movies and TV show offerings. Have you watched Batman Hush?
I did watch Batman Hush.
And Justice League versus the Fatal Five?
I did with Starman.
They're both very, I mean, I don't really need to go into too much detail, but I thought they were both really well put together and held my attention as an adult. And Ty was into it as a kid. I heard that Hush made a couple of changes from the original source material, but in a movie like this, you sort of have to make. I saw what they changed, and they've had to make that change because everybody would have guessed like the secret ending because reasons. But anyway, they were. I think like this. I've watched a lot of stuff on DC Universe, and it's all very good quality. I don't know if it's worth the price, but definitely the stuff they have on there is pretty well
Yeah,
done.
I don't think DC Universe is worth the price. I'll just say it.
Right.
But they need to figure that out because they're although the next Titans, excuse me,
Oh, yeah, might
Titan
die.
season 2 does come out next month, so who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know.
yeah, it's like out in like 2 weeks or something like that. I liked Hush. I had read the comics, but it'd been a long time, so I kind of knew what was going on. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah, I just like the quality. I'm just saying, like I like the quality of the production, the art, the writing. It's like they're well put together. There were a few crappy DC movies. There was a bad window there of like a year or two where the stuff coming out was just not up to their usual high standard. But I think they're moving back there.
Yeah, I like the 2 Superman ones were pretty good. The Reign of the Superman, the Death of Superman.
Yes, that's
Reign
the
of
other
Superman
one
ones.
that I didn't put those on there. Yeah, we watched those too.
Those two I like.
Yep. All good stuff. Wow, what else have you been watching? I see other stuff on here. Is it?
Oh yeah, I watched a documentary on Netflix called Jack of All Trades about the baseball card industry.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't see it, but I saw it there.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, it starts off about the baseball card industry and then it turns into something else. But I don't want to spoil it if you do watch it.
Wow.
But I do recommend it.
Like Capturing the Freedmans?
Not that bad.
All right. Got it.
But I would say yes and no at the same time.
Gotcha. All right.
Similar,
Okay, interesting.
but not as horrifying.
Don't say anything. I'm interested.
Like, you're not going to watch it and be like, this is the most
Right, I'm not
horrifying
gonna
thing
throw
I've
up.
ever seen.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly. But you'll be like, I did not see that this is where this was going to wind up.
Cool. What else?
Yeah. Elliot and I watched the Invader Zim movie that's on Netflix that came out last week. And he loved it. I enjoyed it. I like that TV series. So I was glad they made a new movie. But he loved it. Like, he was telling my wife about it the next day. By minute replay of the movie. And I'm like,
Like Emily.
I'm like, yeah, it was pretty funny. So, Invader Zim, watch it if you like cartoons.
I got a lot of recaps from Emmeline when she was visiting.
Yeah, about what?
Everything.
Paw Patrol.
I don't know. Anything that she happened to be watching.
Excellent.
Watch this, bitches.
That's it.
I finally read the graphic novel that we got for Ty, They Called Us Enemy by George Takei, that talks about his life and his 4 years living in a Japanese-American internment camp. 2 internment camps, actually. It's really well done. It's pretty inspiring and amazing to read about his family and the experience, and it's obviously very scary and hits close to home, being married, having created a Japanese American, and to see like how quickly and easily we sort of just put 100,000 people into prison camps, like without any type of trials or anything. But you should definitely check it out if you like graphic novels, and they should definitely make this into a movie too. It would be a very compelling movie, and it's good stuff.